Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Crimi-Trent. Today it's Floral Friday. It's part of my Floral Friday series, and we're just gonna make some simple anemones. I think that's how you say it, but in white and bright pink and some fuchsia colors. And so let's get started. Okay, so let's get started. I usually get inspiration from all different places, from actual nature, or online for companies that do floral arrangements on Instagram and whatnot. This beautiful arrangement was done by the Farm Flower Girls. I always ask ahead of time, when anybody has a photograph of florals or even a landscape, if I can have permission to use it as inspiration for a painting. You should never just assume you can just copy or even take a photograph and paint whatever's on that, because that's copyrighted. And copyright infringement is a big deal. So with bouquets, I ask permission to use it for inspiration, and I always tag them if I used it, and they're pretty good. And other companies are pretty good about that. Some companies don't like it, so you have to ask, because they might use it for I don't know, promotional stuff or whatever. These ones I did on my own like a while ago. Anemones, probably like a couple years ago. They're really big, so it's hard to see because my lens is small for the painting size that we're going to be doing, because I am out of the good big size paper and I have to go get some supplies this weekend. So just to draw this flower, I mean, like I said, if you can get permission from the people to use the picture for inspiration, you can kind of trace it and then redo it so you can get an idea of the feel of how the flower looks. But they're pretty easy flowers to draw. I mean, you know, you got the circle. Yeah, let me zoom in for you. And you're just making these petals like so, you know, and over here like so. And they kind of overlap and underlap each other. Some might be under here. It's really what makes it what they look like is, you know, they have that dark center and they'll have those little spikes. We'll be painting those on the edges. And then also what's makes them stand out is their stems and their leaves. The leaves have these, I don't know how to describe it, like kind of like celery funky leaves, where they go like this. You know, it doesn't have to look so realistic, but you get the idea. Their leaves are like that. They're not the typical leaf like this. Their leaves are like these little spiky leaves like that. And you get them bending and curling. When you're painting loose though, it doesn't have to be so, you know, you just get the idea of it all. You know, especially when you're starting out, you don't have to make it realistic. Some people like to paint watercolor super realistic, which is great. There's so many amazing artists I see on Instagram every day. I just particularly can't do that. I mean, I can if I wanted to, but I don't, because it's extremely time consuming, number one, and number two, it's just not my style. So if that's your style, that's perfect, that's great. So we're gonna get started on the actual painting. So I have the B, let me zoom back out. The B watercolor paper. I got it in Hobby Lobby. Actually, no, I'm sorry. I got it in Michael's. It's like a 7x9 inch, and it's 100% cotton. I'll probably be using my Grumbacher number 10, and actually, I'll be using this one too. This is a Princeton 1/2" Neptune brush. I bought this at Dick Blick. I love this for making stems and leaves and petals. It's awesome. So here's a nice tip, and in the belly of the brush, and it's an oval. It's a pointed oval. There are rounded ovals like this one, which is a Princeton Select 1/2 inch. There's other ovals like this one, a sapphire 1/2 inch. I used to use this one a lot, but it's kind of had its day. And there are even different types of ovals. This is another one from Princeton. It's a really tight oval. So you're making different types of petals and leaves with this one. This is the Filbert series. And I have my paints over here in my old palette, if you see. And today I'll be using a lot of this bright rose and this purple. And the bright rose is from Dr. P.H. Martin's. It's Wild Rose. And the purple This is Hyacinth Blue, number 32C. They're intense concentrated watercolors, and I'll be using some Hooker's green and some of the permanent green, and then probably some just Paynes gray for the white part of the anemone. Is that how you say it? I don't know. Whatever. Flowers. And you know, it's gonna be a simple, quick little tutorial. So let's get started with that. Oh, before I get started, I sketched lightly what I was going to put down here. I want to show you another way to draw or paint one of those flowers. I do this often if you see them in my Instagram. Let me pull this up again. It's like a half moon. And then you put the flower like this. See, there's the petals. And then you'll have the spikes coming out here. And that's another way of doing one. Instead of this full-on face one, it's kind of like it's had petals moved around. All right, so I just lightly sketched down my design. And we're just going to go in and kind of wing it, because that's how I like to work. Real time, not contrived, not set up. I mean, I could do that, but why? It's kind of how you would teach in a classroom. So I'm grabbing my 1/2 inch Princeton Neptune brush. Let me pull this back up. It's got a good amount of water on it, and it takes him off. Dab it on my paper towel. I know people have been asking to show the palette with the paper towel. Sometimes it's difficult because this palette is big. The paper towel is down here, and the paper's small. And if I have it even zoomed out, you'll never see the design. It would be way far away. You won't be able to see it. So right here we'll do some of the white ones. I'm just going to grab. It's going to be a mixture of Paynes gray, maybe a little blue, ultramarine. I have like 5 or 6 palettes working over here. Or I can even just grab this. This isn't a nice, really, in the Kuretake Watercolors. It's this pale blue color that I use a lot. Use that with the little Paynes gray. You can do pink tones, I mean, whatever works for you. And we're just going to do like the outside. And see, I love this, how it's pointy. Let me zoom this in for you. So you get this point, and you can really do like really skinny point lines. But then you have the belly of the brush, and you push down and pull up, and you get these lines like that. It's really faint color, so it's going to be hard to see, even if it's shining. I'll pull up a bit more. So you get these little teeny lines you can make, as well as you can pull the belly of the brush like that. Now with the white flower, you gotta play how you want the tone to look. I'm taking some color off and putting some color on. It's a little too gray for me. Pull this back. So I think the next one will be less. So I'm not liking that. Just giving it the hint that it's white. Again, here's the petals, they're overlapping. Oh no, we're gonna get the complainers of the shiny watercolor. Sorry. Working my best on this cloudy day. Keep winging it around. The lights I ordered are on back order. Christmas season's difficult to get certain things. It's a big old funky bulb. All right, play around with this for a second. It is getting a little too shiny, so I'm going to try another bulb that I have and see if that works. Okay, I grabbed one of my big bulbs that I've been using for my other painting tutorials, the acrylic ones. You should check out that channel. It's in my description box. It's also my about page. Trying to do daily paintings of those on acrylics. So I pulled it back so you could see. It's so light. because it's white. But we'll paint around it and they'll be highlighted even more. This pink intense rose. Be warned, it's pretty and concentrated. You want to get it a little wet. Dab it on your paper towel. You see that color? It's so intense. Pushing that around. The Martins, just amazing intensity of color. If you love color, they are the bomb. But be fair warned, on your palette it stains and it's not easy to remove. I mean, you probably literally have to scrape it off. Unlike regular watercolor, it stains the palettes. That's why my palette looks like this. It's a mess. But what are you going to do? So there's that bright pink. And then we're going to get that purple up over in here. See how this makes great? You're just pushing down and up. Look at that. Get some great petals with this brush. It's fantastic. If that's too purple, you can add a little of the indigo. Just dab it on the inside there. Let it bleed out. Clean that brush. This pink, you want to get a little more concentrated. Depth of color. You have to add some layers with some crimson. And just see how it's just has this brush is just fantastic. It has these little points on the end. You just go like that. You can make those little teeny lines. Just touching it lightly. You don't even have to try. And then you can go in and push around because it has that big belly on the brush. It's one of my favorite brushes. And I will be going to Dick Blick this weekend and I will be getting some more. I just love this brush. Can't you tell? So then we'll make another one over here. I'm just freehanding this one. I'm used to painting these guys. I'm gonna do that flower that I showed you the last drawing. So you just paint that. Look at that. It's pretty easy. It takes time. You know, you can't become a fabulous watercolorist overnight. I'm going to tell you, like a couple years ago when I started picking them up again, it was pretty sad. I mean, I grew up painting and drawing, and I went to art school. But then I had so many years I was using the computer, so you kind of lose touch. Again, I'm doing this just simple little lines. If you don't like how pointed it is, you can get a different brush. I'm going to go in and add some leaves now. I'm going to grab that bright green. If you can see that. This bright green here, mix it with some yellow over here. I have one of those very messy palettes and I don't really care. Because that's how I like to work. It just works for me. I also don't have one of those fabulously clean studios. I don't understand artists that do. So I'm just adding. Now with this brush, why it's so awesome, again, for this particular flower, I'm going to zoom in again. You get that point, and you just use it. Look at that. It looks like they're leaves. It's so easy. Come down here. Pull this down, like so, and you're just using it. Look at that. Looks like they're leaves, right? Without getting super technical, you might want to add some dark hooker's green, mix a little brown, burnt umber, or raw umber. So under the shadow of the, it gives some little shadows on the leaves here and there. But you see how this works? And then, you know, you want to add some of the brown in here. Now you can see the flower starting to take shape. Turn that off. I'm going to do another white one down here. grab my gray color. Got a little green, but that's okay. Some of the anemones, I didn't say that right, they have this green, light pale green inside here. You know, they all look so different. I've painted these on canvas. You can see them on my website. I actually have some paintings for sale with them. It's these black and white paintings that I love. I show them often in my Instagram stories. One day somebody's going to buy one of those paintings. And it's going to be sad because I love them. I know I should keep it forever. Maybe I shouldn't sell it. But I feel like, you know what? You got to spread it out. Spread the love. And that's what I like to do with my painting. Spread the love. Okay, I'm rambling. Sorry. So you see that I'm just going around like so. This one has a greenish tinge to it. I'm going to pull up some of that color. Clean up my brush. Use it like a mop. But that's okay if it's like that. A variety is good. And over here we'll add another pink flower. You can see that because it's hiding behind there. You can go in and grab some. You can actually grab some of the purple. Give it that fluorescent. So if it comes a little too much, like that's looking a little too much, I'm gonna clean up my brush. Gonna soak some of that up. Instead, I'm not going to use the concentrated on top of that. I'll use a regular purple on top of that. Just dab the inside of that, like so. Just give a little variety. I can go back over it with some of the concentrated. But it's like a nice little, or you can go in and grab some indigo, which will bleed really nice. Look at that. Zoom in so you can see. Yeah. And so we're building. And then on this anemone, we're going to add some of the deeper, darker elements, the highlights, with the tip of this brush. Same thing down here. Gonna keep going in and adding some more stems. Again, with this brush, it's so great. You just go like that. You don't have to get so technical with how the stems really are. You get the sense of that's what they look like. Playing around with this. This make a great birthday card, a gift. You know, florals. Everybody loves florals. Mother's Day. I know it's not even Christmas yet, but you know, you get your practice in before it even happens. A sympathy card. Flowers are for everything, and everybody loves flowers. I don't know many people that don't like flowers. Just keep adding the greens. And then you can see the shape of the white. And add some greens over here. Starting to take place of a nice painting. Look at that. You might want to fill in this little area too. And you want the values not all to look the same, so you're going to want to add some darker greens, because the shadows, and then of course you can add in some indigo in there, even some red, because it's a complementary color. And what I mean by that is it's the opposite of green is red, orange and blue, purple and yellow. And they make the colors pop when you have the complementary color next to them. Okay, I'm going to start to add in the middle part. This is where you need a gray and black. You could add, actually these are deep purple, so you can make a deep blue purple. See this, it's circle. Or you can just fill it all in like this. It's real intense and dark in the middle. Again here, I used indigo there. I'm going to add some purple here. On this one too, like I'll have a highlight on the top. See, I'll leave that little highlight. I'm going to go in here, and I'll leave a little highlight. Same thing with this one. Leave a little highlight. I didn't leave the highlight there, but that's no big deal. You can always add it if you had to with gouache. I'm still using this brush because I'm obsessed with it, so I will be going in and using my little spikes because it's a great point. And I'll blow this up so you can see. I'm just going in and adding the spikes with the point of this brush. Starting to come to shape. On this one, I won't do it all the way around. I'm just going to do it on the top of that half circle shape. This one's a little wet, so it's bleeding, so I might have to wait on that one. And then I go in and grab a paintbrush and make these little circles on top of the spikes. You can see that. Look at that. Fairly simple. Go over here. And let's pull this back out. Give this some definition with some lines. Same thing with the flower up here. It's too flat. You got to add some color in here. Got to layer it with different tones and different colors, like so. You don't want a flat flower. So I'm adding some dark indigo on the bottom here where it connects to the stem. Same thing with this one. Put a little highlight shadow with the dark indigo. You get the idea. Can add some indigo in here. So you can see the flower better. Clean up your brush. Maybe add some more green over in here. And play around with the tones of the greens too. You don't want them, they're looking a little too flat. So you gotta change that up a little bit. Add some darker tones. And this part seems a little you can't see it, so we're gonna fix that. I'm gonna add some of the gray. Could be pale, pale, pale of the purple. I'm just gonna do tiny little lines outlining it so you can see it better. And if you feel like this too white over here, you just go in. I'm going to add some green leaves over here. Oops, sorry, my paint is getting a little too bright. Yeah, see how bright that got? We're going to change it up. Yeah, there you go. So if this part seems a little too white still, you can go in and grab get a really pale purple, add a highlight, just really pale, or even pink if you want to, so you can see it a little better. But there you go. I hope you enjoyed this. I'm sorry if I was a little mumbly, but it's Friday and it's Floral Friday, and so, you know, I'm tired. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If so, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you so much for stopping by. I'm really enjoying this channel and all your comments. It's been great, and I hope you have a great weekend. Take care.